We are now recording.
We're live, Andrew. Okay. Hey, guys. This is Jim Winkler and Andrew Chee, and we are here to help you with Zoom. We know there's a lot of people purchasing Zoom who have never used it before, who want to be able to do online meetings, who want to be able to do online webinars, one-on-ones, two-on-ones, all these different things, yet a little bit stuck on maybe what to do, right, Andrew?
Yep. And this is such a great tool to use. We're seeing so much movement, so much activity in the field now, sort of just using the online meetings as an excuse to get together. We're getting so much traction.
It's actually fun. We just got off the phone with a friend of ours, Tom Dombro, and he said he booked, he was on, for 45 minutes booking calls, or made 46 calls. I can't remember what it was, but everyone's excited to get this out there. So enough of that. We're in the best time, in our business. I've seen in such a long time. It's a tough time in the world, but we have something to share. We have something to help. We have products. We have hope. And guys, those are all really important things right now. And we want to spend a few minutes to show you how you can share a lot of that through Zoom with our business. So, yes, Andrew, let's start off. Why don't we take them? The first thing is they may need to purchase it, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to go down, and while you're watching me, it says share. I'm going to click a share button, and I'm going to click where it says desktop right there, and I'm going to click share right here. Actually, I'm going to optimize this, Andrew. If I share computer sound, this is really important, right? For the people who are going to be playing a video through your computer on Zoom, or if you are going to play like the UBP presentation, you want to click share computer sound. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to go back here.
Before you share it, let me show everybody what that looks like.
Yeah, do that.
This is my screen right now. So took a snapshot of this earlier. That share computer sound portion is right here.
Yeah.
That Jim was talking about. So I'm just going to annotate this right here. At the bottom left, you see where it says share computer sound?
That's great. That is great.
Okay.
All right. So am I back? Is it back to me now? Or no, here we go. All right. Andrew's zooming me around here. So we'll go share. We see it there. We see the desktop. I'm going to click share the computer sound. I'm going to click share again. Now you're seeing my desktop on here, and I'm going to go to unfranchised.com. Andrew, we should be good now. I'm at the home page right here. Now, we're going to tell you Zoom's available in all countries, which is great. But in the US and Canada, a couple ways you can order it. If you're in the US, you can just type in Zoom. And when you type in Zoom, it's going to pull right up like this. And it's right there. You have the ability to learn more and sign up today. If you're in Canada, what you'll want to do is go to My Account. Go to My Services, click that, and then go down to Zoom Video Conferencing, Zoom Video Conferencing, and you get to the exact same page. So either way we can get there, but when we get there, yeah, you may hear dogs going and stuff like that. We're a home-based business, right? So it's okay.
That's my Sharky. He hasn't learned to speak and be quiet yet. So we're
well, you know what? Give him some pet products and get some more IBV or BV. It's good. So we'll click learn more and sign up. And when we click that, it goes on right here and it says sign up and earn IBV. So to make sure everybody understands, you get 15% IBV. Now this is $9.99 a month to do it. What they're giving us, if we were buying it from Zoom on its own, would cost us a couple $100 a month, $180 to $200 a month, right?
Yeah, it's like $160 per month.
It's crazy the savings we're getting and the tools we're getting to be able to do that. So all you do is click sign up now. It shows you everything that could be done there, and when you click that, it's going to pull up. Now I've already registered, so I can't do it. You can do a monthly, you can do an annual if you want to do that. Now, Andrew, there's some questions on here that have come up. So that $9.99 is a great price. The annual is a great price. One of the things you and I were talking about, what if somebody already has a Zoom account, right?
Yeah.
So
Are we able to transfer that over? Because I know you had mentioned you had paid for the Zoom account initially before we had the partnership with them.
right, I've been Zooming for quite a while, and if you had a Zoom account prior, one of the great things about this is when I did it, the main thing I had to do is I registered. I went through and I just registered like I was, getting started monthly. When I went there, and it's going to pull up now, I registered and used my same email. Now, because I used my same email, what it did is it recognized my old Zoom account. So about a week later, don't expect it the next day, and it does take a couple, it might take up to 24 hours. Doesn't usually take that long for your account to kick in, the new account. But once it recognized it, and about a week later, I got a refund for $120 some for my old Zoom account. So that this one I was using, my other one was refunded. So you don't have to worry. If you've had one previously, you're going to get that money back. That's really great to know. Okay.
Hey, here's another question, Jim. Are customers eligible for this deal?
You know what? Unfortunately, they are not, Andrew. This is set up just for our unfranchised owners. It's a special relationship through a company called Working Live with Zoom. And our customers cannot get that. And I did double check on it again today to see if there was any way, but there's not. So what a great way to talk to your customer about potentially becoming a business partner because of all the money they would save on Zoom. $160 a month, that'll cover your auto ship right there.
So it's not just, with being an unfranchised owner, we don't just get to take advantage of Hurdler. We now get a crazy savings with Zoom.
Yeah, it's so good. Andrew, what we should do right now, I'm just thinking about this. We should probably show people how to, now that people know how to buy it and they know that you're going to get it within 24 hours. And if not, by the way, if it doesn't come to you right away, there's areas to either call or email you'll see on here. And that they can do it if they have a Zoom account. One of the things we're going to teach them is how to go through and use it. But why don't we show, one of the things you and I have talked about is the ability to go live on Facebook with this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the rest of our presentation. I'm going to just put it live on Facebook while we're doing it. Okay.
Sounds good.
You want to comb your hair or anything? You good?
No, I think I'm good.
You look good. You look good, Andrew. So, all right. So I'm going to put this out and I'll just throw it on one of our teams right there.
You can do something.
Click there. So if you saw what I did, I went to an area where there were 3 dots. Those 3 dots, when I collected them, hit them, it said that there were other things we could do. One of them was go live on Facebook. You can only go live on Facebook on someone you're an administrator of. So that's why I picked a group that I was administrator of. And I'm going to say, we'll call this Zoom training.
Yeah. And where what Jim was talking about with the area where there's 3 dots, that's right on the Zoom window at the bottom. If you're hosting at the bottom, you should have, that's where you have share screen, that's where you have record, and the 3 dots should come up there as well.
So I'm clicking go live now, and what's going to have you see it takes a little bit. Now, Andrew, let's give them a little, let them know that when they do go live, the actual live feed will be about 20 seconds behind the feed you're on Zoom. Yeah. So you don't want to get messed up with that and have something go. So what you're seeing is, as you see, I've actually got the Facebook page up, and it's showing us start to set that up 20 seconds ago. And it's going. Now, a big important thing is if you're doing this, make sure you keep this microphone off.
And by default, that should be off. And also, I've done a couple live ones before, Jim. What really threw me off was if I had the Facebook window open, I'd see myself, like looking back in time. So I would minimize the Facebook and then go back to the Zoom window.
Exactly. So let's go back to Zoom, like we're talking about right now, and let's talk about how to set one up. And what I'm going to do, I need to move my little picture of Andrew and I over here a little bit. So if you go to Zoom, now you'll have to log into an account, okay? So once you've already created your account, you did a password in your email when you registered for the account. When you have it, you come here and it'll say zoom.us there. You go to my account and you click that. And you can see it's got my name and it's got some different things on here. My personal link, which is my name. You can customize that, but all sorts of different stuff we'll talk about. as we go through. But I think the first thing we want to talk about, Andrew, is what is the difference between a meeting and a webinar? What would be the difference on that?
Right. I think a difference with what we're used to is for meetings, it's in like a coring setting where in a meeting where we would sit in a circle, whereas webinars is set up for any meeting that we would have used the microphone on.
Great way to think of it.
Mm-hmm.
So if Andrew and I were just getting together to do, if I was doing a 2-on-1 or a 1-on-1, probably use meetings. Or a coring with 4 or 5 people, I'd use meetings. If I'm doing something that's going to have 10 or more people or 20 or more people or 30 more people, I probably want to do webinars. And the webinars will allow you to see who registers as well. Meetings does not, but webinars does on there. Right. So both of the setups for them are very similar. So I'm going to show you how to set up the webinar, because that's, I think, what a lot of people will be using. Yeah, and you'll see I've got ones on there. We just did a test a minute ago. We've got one running right now, and I'm going to say schedule a webinar.
Right. Another cool thing about the webinar feature is that it's a lot more professional for the audience. So right here at the bottom, right now we're on a webinar, Jim and I, and right at the bottom, if there were attendees watching this, they'd only see limited options, like they could raise their hand or your hand, but they wouldn't be able to share screen or we can turn off the Q&A, and it makes it a cleaner presentation.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was setting up a new meeting, I'd go here, I'd put the topic. I'd write a description of what it's going to be. I can click a template. What that means is I've saved one template from before when I did an online unfranchised presentation. I saved it. If I click that, it's going to save all my settings from what I did before. When you're brand new, though, you're going to just be putting in the topic, the description, then going in and saying, okay, when do I want to do this? So put in the date, how long do you expect it to last, the time you want to do it at. If it would be a reoccurring webinar, you could do that, but most times we'll probably be doing these one at a time. In this webinar, I would say registration required. That means they're going to have to register. The host video, I would have on, but I'd have off the panelist video, okay? The telephone, computer, I'd use both. That way people can use their speakers or their phone, whatever they want to. I would enable a practice session, wouldn't you, Andrew? Because that allows you to basically go on, talk ahead of time, and then when you click it, it'll start, but it allows you to do some things ahead of time.
Right. The practice session is sort of like going backstage, and making sure everybody knows their roles, when they're going to unmute themselves, and it's good to have. And
then when you click it, it starts the webinar.
Yeah.
I would always do this, record the webinar automatically, and I would do it in the cloud. Now, one of the great features of what we have with our Zoom is it gives you unlimited cloud recording. So you have the ability to record any webinar you want, and you can put that in the cloud, and you'll have it to send out over and over and over again, or to make an on-demand webinar like that. You can do multiple different things.
Yeah. Now, one thing I will mention about the Q&A is that depending on the type of webinar or the type of meeting, you might want to turn that on or off. If it's like a UBP condensed, we did one on Tuesday, Jim, and we had left the Q&A on. So while I was talking, there were people asking questions about the company, and luckily we had our S team and our P team backstage answering the questions live. But if you don't have access to that, turn that off and just address. We can address the questions one-on-one after.
Yeah, no, that's great. So I'm going to click schedule.
Yep.
So we've scheduled it now. So now we're going to go through. You can put this and add it to your calendar. If you used an Outlook, Google, or Yahoo, that'll put it right on your calendar. You can see I have the panelist video off. I could have left it on. And now I'm going to go down and I'm going to look at invitations. Now this is where it gets sort of cool, because there's different things. I can copy the invitation. If I click this, it's going to pull up. I copy it, and I've got that to send out to people. I also have the ability to have them to email the invitation to me. Mm-hmm. I can go in and I can edit different approval options if I want to. I can go ahead, Andrew. You wanted to say something?
No, I was agreeing with that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you had something on. So let's click edit on here. I could add new panelists on that one if I want to do it. On approval options, I could change the way I could manually approve, although normally I think you'd want to allow it to go as it is. All these things, pretty simple. Then I'm going to go to email settings. So here it's defaulted to English. It's got my email. Maybe I want to change this and make this my corporate email. So I go in here and I say I'm going to do jim@shop.com. So now any responses would come to my corporate email, and you'll see how that changed right there. I can have an email to send to panelists. I can do a confirmation email to registrants. So again, all I do is click edit to do that, and it'll have the meeting subject. I can put something in here. Thank you for registering, and I can put more information. And then I can put more information down here as well. So it allows me to do that. Here I didn't do anything. I won't write anything in, but if I did, that would save it. And then I can just email it to myself, and I can take a look at what it looks like if I want to change it.
Yeah, I think a very cool feature is the reminder email to attendees.
Oh.
Sometimes we might put out a webinar that is scheduled for 2 days later. And
Yes.
having that, we can have the reminder sent out a day before and an hour before. So people got time to get on it, and they don't have to search through 2 days worth of emails to find a link.
And like Andrew said, you can see I could click this to do a reminder email 1 hour before, and if I do that, look what happens. It's sending it to them. We could send it 1 day and 1 hour before, so that they can see that as well, to be able to do that. So you're seeing the different things. We have the ability to send a reminder. So I'll save that as if I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. What about if I want to follow up to an attendee? Can I do that, Andrew?
Yes, sir. So you can just send a follow-up email right there, and but the soonest it sends out is a day, though. It doesn't.
Great. That's what I wanted you to say. Yeah, 24 hours later, you can send it to. And again, you can personalize what you want to put in here, so you have the ability to do that. You can also send a follow-up to people who didn't show up. So they said they were going to be on the webinar, but they didn't make it. Says, we're sorry you weren't able to attend. Now you can change any verbiage you want on here. But if someone missed it, you can do that as well. And, you can do things. We were talking about this earlier, Andrew, and I'm looking for the spot at it, but where we have the ability to put in a URL.
The URL, the post attendee
Right.
URL. Let's see. The webinars.
Let me look through on the invitation confirmation, reminder. We've got all those. We'll come back to that because there is a way to do a post URL on there. So you could have it, I think it's under, is it under polls? We can do polls, we can do branding. So you can upload and put in, example, if I wanted to go in here and I wanted to put in a marketamericashop.com picture, I could do that so it brands it that way. Or if it was TLS, I could do that.
Can I do a quick share screen? I've got an example of the branding that I've used.
Yeah, do that.
And then, maybe we could find the post URL as
well. I found it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So here is an example of the branding. Let's say if we go in and we brand the email. I'll just change the banner. This is one of the accountability groups Jim and I have going on, the Elite 18. But let's say this was set up for a UBP. I can just change that to something nice and simple like this. And what will happen is you'll get when the attendees get the confirmation, the email kind of looks like this. So it's got our nice little banner up top.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
And it looks professional. It's got some branding on there.
Right.
Now, this one, the logo branding would show up on the right side of the page. So depending on how you want the email to look, like sometimes this may be a little bit much, but that's completely up to you. You can always send yourself a preview email, so you'll see how it looks like before you send it out to the attendees.
Go back to the branding, Andrew, and I'll show you something. If you can scroll down.
Yeah.
It should say post attendee URL.
Okay.
So you could set that so that goes to the goes to the attendee right afterwards, and maybe it's your website, maybe it's marketamerica.com like Andrew put in there, so they can look at that. But that would go to them right away, so the attendee would see it.
Very cool. This is so for the Northern California district, I had not known about this yet. I made a survey on Google Forms, and I put that link to the survey to go out one day later in the email. But had I known about this, I would have put that link here.
Right.
And right after, people can fill in the survey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So some really simple things. I know as you're looking, you're saying, "Oh, wow, could be a lot to learn." I don't want you to get overwhelmed. This is Andrew and I playing with this, for quite a while.
Yeah.
But we're just trying to give you some ideas of what you can do with it. So let's go back here. There's polls you can put in while you're doing it. When we go to invitations as well, I wanted to show you if we edit. Nope, that's not the one I want to show you. There's the ability to also, and let me see where I can do it. Approval options. There's a place to put in questions. I don't know why I'm missing this because I do it on my own all the time. Let's see if it's here. Invitations. Here it is. Questions. So I can look at under this registration, and when I go to questions, it'll say, okay, well, what if I want to know the city they live in? By the way, don't do too much. People don't want to write everything in the world, but they may. Last name, city, they're already doing their first name and email. So that's that. So I go save. And then I can do questions. So I might put something in here, and these would pop up right when they come on. So let's say you wanted to know, you're doing a business presentation. And the question might be, are you an unfranchised owner or a guest? And under answer, you write unfranchised owner and guest. So what's going to happen right now, and I'm going to create that just became a question. Now my new question after that is going to be,
this is really cool,
is going to be, and I'll make it a short answer. And it's going to be, who invited you? And then I'll leave the answer blank. So what's going to happen? Whoops.
Right.
So I'll make a short answer. There we go. Who invited you? Now, the first question is, are you an unfranchised owner or guest? The second question is, who invited you? And they'll have room to put that in. I'm sorry, Andrew, you wanted to say something?
No, that's very cool. No, I was just going to say single was, the audience would only be able to choose one of the answers.
Okay.
Well, short answer gave them a bar to type in. I didn't know. This is really cool.
Oh, good. So anyway, those are some things on setting it up. Now, we showed you live streaming, which we're doing right now. You do the live streaming when you're actually in the when you're in your system. And it's not by doing it here. It's by hitting and being able to go on to live stream from your menu bar, I guess you would call it, like right here where the 3 buttons are. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it says more, and then it says share computer. It would say share to Facebook. Right now it says stop live stream because I am live streaming. Mm-hmm. Andrew, let's talk about, so in meetings, let's say someone wanted to keep it really, really simple. Could they just do a meeting? Let's say they schedule a new meeting, or could they do just start a meeting right away, where they want to do one, like host a meeting with video on right away. They could click that and just share it right away and invite somebody to do a 2-on-1.
Right.
They can schedule a meeting. So if you want to just host it right away, you could do that and have the person join on.
Yeah, and you won't even need to come on to the zoom.us site on your browser. Just open the Zoom application, click new meeting, and once that's available, people just need that ID, that 9-digit ID or 10-digit ID that you have to join the meeting.
Yep.
Mhm.
Under settings, we've sort of covered a lot of these things going through it, because it talks about, do you want the host video on? Do you want the participants video on? Now, I will tell you, on a meeting, I would typically say no, unless it's like 3 or 4 of us doing it, and then it's okay. All right.
Yeah. And
Audio. Go ahead.
This is just the default setting. After they come on the meeting and we change our mind, say, hey, you know what? I want to get this guy's video on. We have the ability to do that on the fly.
Every time we do. That's right. We can go up and we can, when we go to more again here, we can mute everyone. We can turn certain people's videos on or off. So we have the ability to be in control of what we're doing while we're doing some of these things.
Yeah.
Can people join before the host? So you can go through and go through all these different things. I'm not going to go through for time. I want this to be so people can really get some more out of it. But it talks about screen sharing, whiteboard. Here's what I am going to tell you should do. You should go down to where it says video tutorials. And here you can go on. And this is what I did. I don't know if you did this, Andrew. When I first started with Zoom, before we had it as an account, I started going in. I just went in and I played one after another and I watched it. And then I said, okay, how do I integrate this with Facebook? Or how do I do this? And I just started watching different videos on how to do it. And they've got videos on everything, how to do closed captioning.
Wow.
And you can go down again and see, okay, well, what if I want to know about how to share certain things? So they've got great tutorials on that. We're sort of giving you the basics to how do I get it, how do I get started, but that will really take you on there and give you the details in deep details.
Makes you a pro at this.
And what makes you better, right? Makes you better. One of the things that's fun is you have the ability, after you've done a meeting or a webinar, to also look at reports. So I'm going to go to my webinar. I'm going to say I want to do a registration report, and I could look at it, and I'll change my date back a couple days because I've been doing a few here. Hit filter, and I could look and I could say, okay, there were 100 people on that online business presentation that I did. Okay, so I'm going to click that, and it's going to say generate a CVS report. So it's generating a report right now. I click that. When I click that, it is going to show me everybody that was on that report. I'm spreading this out a little bit so you can see a few things. But because I had set up ahead of time, remember I said, are you a guest or an unfranchised owner? Look, I can look and see how many guests did we have on that presentation right there, and who were they guests of. It's fantastic for follow-up. So I could call the unfranchised owners, help support them, make sure they're getting through on that. But that's our registration report you can look at. You also have the ability, anything you want to add? I don't mean to just keep talking, Andrew.
I'm just thinking, man, that's the A-team.
Right? It does a lot for us. And then I can go to an attendance report. And what an attendance report does that's different is the registration shows you who is attending, right, or who is registering. The attendance report showed you who actually got on the webinar. Yeah. So now you can look at it and you can see, okay, what time did they get on? Whoops, I'm making some of these too big as I'm doing it. What time did they leave? How many minutes were they on? What was their attentiveness? Did they really watch it, or were they playing a video game while they had it going in the background? So you see all these different things as you're going through here, which help you again in the ability to be able to support and help your business partners with their guests. And you can do a performance report. If you did question and answers, you can pull that up. If you put in a poll, because you can put in polls in there. So like questions you want to ask at certain times, you can do that. But all these are there for you to be able to use. Guys, keeping this really simple. It's $10 a month. You've got all the video training in the world. You've got the ability to attend live training. We're going to do a training. Andrew and I are going to be on Monday night, this coming Monday. We're going to do a live training. I think that's 9 Eastern, if I'm right, Andrew. Yeah. And we'll be putting that on. It'll be a lot of this again, but you'll get to see it a second time, and we'll probably add a couple things in there, of course. But Andrew, you want any closing thoughts on this?
Yeah, that's you know, I think the best way to learn about this is to play around with it. You know, run some meetings with your teams, run some core rings, and stay engaged with the people during this time. I mean, it is we're meeting up. I don't know about you, Jim, but we're meeting up more than we have before now. It's kind of crazy, and
Yes, it's good.
having
It's
a
good.
blast with it. Mm-hmm.
It's really good the way I'm just playing with it and showing people while you're talking.
Yeah.
So it'll show you previous meeting. You can have a personal meeting room, meeting templates if you've set any up. And again, remember with a meeting, Andrew, like we said, it's simple to just do a simple one-on-one or two-on-one with a meeting and use Zoom to do that, which is great. Just by saying host a meeting with video on, you go boom. And it's probably not gonna be able to do it because I'm already on Zoom. I don't want to kick myself off of this one. So I'll cancel it, but that's all you really need to do it and make it that simple.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed it. We hope you learned a few things. We didn't confuse you too much with it. I think maybe you got some nice tools out of there. I'm going to go back to the Facebook here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this right now. So at least I think I'm going to end this right now. Maybe I'm not going to end this right now.
Yeah, this is the best way to learn. Just
right, we're doing this sort of on the flow, right? So let me click. I think I'm going to end this right now. Oh, see, now I'd have to. The sound went on because I was doing that. So I'm going to.
I think you could do it from. Let me try. No, I'm not able to do it, even though I'm
okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the share here, and then I'll go back to my Facebook and make sure that I've done that and we take care of it. But I hope it was helpful, guys. Have a good rest of the day. Enjoy. You know, we're all learning. It's all new technology. We're not perfect at it, but you know what I know we're going to be in the next 4 to 8 weeks? We're going to have some experts on this, and we're going to be able to do things we have never done before because of that. And it's going to make us, when we can go back in person and we add the technology, holy cow, it's going to be a great 8 weeks right now, but it's going to be an incredible time afterwards. Right, Andrew?
Exciting.
All right, Andrew, thank you so much for all your help. I appreciate it. Have a nice night, everyone. And please remember, stay safe at all times. Stay safe no matter what you do, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, take care.